Let me guess. You spent weeks, maybe months, planning your workshop. You prepped the content, promoted it like crazy. And when the big day arrived, well, crickets. Or maybe a handful of people showed up, but engagement was flat. Worst of all, no one stuck around after. Sound familiar? Don't worry, you're not alone. We've all had a workshop flop at some point. But today, we're turning that flop into a learning experience. I'm breaking down why your last workshop didn't land, and more importantly, how to make sure your next one is a smash hit. Let's dive in. Hey there, I'm Rachel Starr, ex-wedding planner and recovering people pleaser turned Your Community Strategist. And not too long ago, I felt a bit like Angela, planning a Dunder Mifflin party, trying to make things perfect, yet wondering if people would actually show up and enjoy themselves. That's when I discovered the real game changer, community building. It's the key ingredient to everything. Whether you're launching your next course, growing a podcast, or creating a space where people want to connect and engage. Each week, we'll roll up our sleeves and dive into the essentials of community building. From virtual events and workshop planning to fresh, innovative strategies for fostering real connections, all without the party planning committee drama. Whether you're just getting started or ready to level up, you'll find practical tips, expert interviews, and real-world insights to help you craft a community that fuels your next big move. So if you're ready to get inspired and transform the way you build connections, you're in the right place, friends. Let's dive in and master the art of community together. Welcome back to Your Community Strategist. I'm your host, Rachel Starr. Before we jump into today's episode, a big thanks to today's sponsor, the Co-op. If you're a course creator, community builder, or virtual event host looking for strategy, support, and ready-to-use resources, the Co-op is where you need to be. It's your go-to hub for templates, workshops, and insider strategies to build, grow, and monetize your community. Check out the show notes to grab your first month for just $1 and get started today. All right, let's get real. If your last workshop didn't go as planned, there's a reason. And here's the good news. That reason, it's fixable. Workshops don't flop because the universe decided to mess with you. They flop because something in the planning, execution, or follow-up didn't quite land. And when you know what went wrong, you can course correct and make sure it doesn't happen again. So today, we're going to break down the 5 biggest culprits behind a lackluster workshop. If your last event felt like a struggle, chances are one or more of these mistakes were at play. Reason number 1, you picked the wrong topic. Have you ever been in a workshop that just felt, flat? Like the speaker was doing their best, but the audience wasn't engaged. That might have been because the topic wasn't hitting the mark. A lot of people make the mistake of picking a topic based on what they think the audience needs instead of what their audience actually wants. And here's the thing. What you think is valuable and what your audience wants to learn, they don't always align. If your topic didn't spark excitement, it's no wonder attendance and engagement were low. But there's a fix. Before committing to a workshop topic, do a little audience research. Poll your community. Ask them directly what they're struggling with. Check your past content. What topics got the most engagement? Or run a quick Q&A session. See what questions come up again and again. When you validate your topic ahead of time, you're not just guessing, you're creating something your audience actually wants. Reason number 2, you had an audience mismatch. Okay, let's say your topic was solid, but the wrong people showed up. Maybe they weren't at the right stage in their journey. Maybe they thought they were getting something else. Or maybe they just weren't that interested. Either way, if you're trying to teach people who aren't actually the right fit for what you're offering, it's going to feel like pulling teeth to get that engagement. But there's a fix. Instead of casting a wide net, get really clear on who this workshop is for. What specific problem does this solve? Who will benefit the most from this session? How do you make sure the right people sign up? This means being crystal clear in your messaging. Instead of saying, this workshop is for anyone interested in marketing, say something like, this workshop is for service based business owners who want to double their email list in 30 days. The more specific you are, the more likely you are to attract people who actually want what you're teaching. Reason number 3, your promotion wasn't strong enough, or it started too late. Listen, I know we all wish we could just announce a workshop and have people magically sign up. But unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. One of the biggest reasons workshops flop, not enough people knew about it, or they found out too late. I see this all the time. Someone posts about their workshop once a week before the event and then wonders why no one showed up. That's not enough time to build momentum, but you can fix it. Give yourself a 21-day promotional runway. Here's a simple timeline. Week 1, announce it. Get early bird signups going. Then in week 2, start sharing testimonials or past success stories related to the topic. Build that credibility. Week 3, go all in on urgency, countdowns, final reminders, FOMO building posts. And don't just promote it in one place. Use multiple channels: email, social media, community posts, DMs. The more touch points, the better. If you want people to show up, they need to see it more than once. Reason 4, your workshop was more lecture than interactive. People don't sign up for workshops just to sit and listen for an hour anymore. They want to engage, participate, and feel involved. Think about the best workshops you've attended. Were they just someone talking at you for 60 minutes straight? Probably not. If your last workshop felt a little lifeless, it might have been too passive, but you can fix it. Build in at least 3 points of interaction during your session. Here are a few easy ways to do that. Start with a question. Get people thinking right away. Use live polls. Make participation easy and low pressure. Plan a breakout discussion. Even 5 minutes in small groups can boost engagement. You can do a quick challenge, something they can complete during the session. When people are actively engaged, they'll remember more and they'll be way more likely to take action afterwards. Reason number 5, no clear next steps, AKA the dreaded dead end workshop. I am so guilty of this one. Let's say you nailed the content. People loved it, they were engaged, and then it ended. No follow up, no call to action, just a thanks for coming, and everyone logs off. If you don't guide attendees to a next step, they're going to walk away, forget about the workshop in 48 hours, and move on with their lives. But you can fix that too. Always have a clear call to action. Ask yourself, what do you want attendees to do next? Join your community, sign up for a paid offer, book a call with you, engage in a post-workshop discussion. And don't just mention it once, reinforce it. Drop the CTA in the chat, put it in your slides, and include it in your post-workshop follow-up email. When attendees know exactly what to do next, they're way more likely to take action. All right. We just unpacked the 5 biggest reasons workshops flop. And if you're nodding along thinking, yep, I've definitely made at least one of these mistakes, you're not alone, friend. We've all been there. But now that you know what not to do, let's talk about how to fix it. All right. So we just walked through the 5 biggest reasons workshops flop, but now it's time for the good stuff, the fixes. Because knowing what went wrong is only half the battle. The real magic happens when you take the knowledge and turn it into a game plan for success. I call this my fix it framework. A 5 step system that ensures your next workshop isn't just better, it's a total win. Whether your last event flopped due to low turnout, poor engagement, or a lack of follow through, these steps will help you course correct and create a workshop that actually delivers. So grab a notebook, or let's be honest, that notes app on your phone, and let's walk through these 5 steps together. Step 1, validate your topic. Before you even think about designing your next workshop, let's talk topic validation. Because if you skip this step, you're basically rolling the dice on whether or not your audience actually wants what you're offering. I see it all the time. Someone spends weeks crafting an amazing workshop only to launch it and hear crickets. And it's usually because they picked a topic they thought was valuable, but didn't check in with their audience first. Here's how to validate your topic before you commit. Run a quick poll in your community or email list. Ask, what's your biggest struggle? Insert your niche right now. You could DM engage members and ask, if I hosted a workshop on whatever your idea is, would you sign up? Look at past content analytics. Analytics and numbers are your biggest determinant of what's really working in your community. Which posts, emails, or podcast episodes have sparked the most engagement? If you're seeing consistent interest around a certain topic, that's your green light. If not, adjust and refine before you start building. Step 2, map out your promo strategy. One of the biggest mistakes I see, not promoting early enough. You can't just announce your workshop a week before and hope people magically show up. You'll need a strategy that builds momentum over time. The sweet spot, a 21-day promo plan. 3 weeks of steady visibility, curiosity building, and engagement. And here's a simple roadmap. In week 1, the announcement and early bird signups. Officially announce your workshop. Share why it's happening, who it's for, and what people will get from it. Offer an early bird bonus, something small but valuable to incentivize quick signups. Then in week 2, show your social proof and storytelling abilities. Share testimonials or success stories related to your workshop topic. Post a behind the scenes look at what you're creating and answer FAQs and address hesitations. Think, is this workshop right for me? Then in week 3, the final countdown. It is FOMO time, friends. Send out daily reminders. Last chance. Seats are filling up. Go live on social media or in your community to talk about what attendees will learn. Drop a limited time bonus for people who sign up in the final days. By layering your promotion instead of relying on one big announcement, you create anticipation and urgency, which means more signups and higher attendance. Step 3, build in engagement from the start. Workshops should never feel like one-way lectures. If people are just sitting and listening, they're zoning out. You want them actively engaged from the beginning. Here's how to make your workshop interactive. Kick things off with a question. Instead of diving straight into slides, ask what's your biggest struggle with your topic, and have attendees drop answers in the chat. Use live poll tools like Zoom polls or Slido, or even a simple emoji reaction check-in, depending on the software you're using. Break up the content. Every 10 to 15 minutes, pause and let people discuss in breakout rooms or respond in the chat. And then plan a quick wins challenge, something attendees can do during the session to apply what they're learning. When people are actively participating, they're retaining more information and they're way more likely to take action after the workshop. Step 4, optimize the workshop experience. Your workshop isn't just about what you teach, it's about how you deliver it. If your session is too rigid, too boring, or too overwhelming, people will mentally check out. Here's how to create an engaging, high impact experience. First, keep it structured but flexible. Have a clear outline, but don't be afraid to pivot based on audience energy. 2, use storytelling to make concepts stick. Instead of dumping a bunch of facts, share a real life example or a personal story that illustrates the point. Leave room for spontaneity. If a great question comes up, go with it. Some of the best workshop moments happen when you follow the energy of the group. Think of your workshops like a conversation, not a TED Talk. The more engaging and natural you make it, the more people will actually enjoy the experience, and that's what keeps them coming back. Step 5, have a solid follow-up plan. Here's the harsh truth. If you don't follow up after your workshop, you're leaving opportunity on the table. People leave feeling inspired, but inspiration fades fast. If there's no clear next steps, they'll move on with their lives and forget about your session within days. Here's how to follow up effectively. Send a post-workshop email. Within 24 hours, include the workshop replay if available. Share resources or next steps to help them take action. Reinforce the CTA. What's their next steps with you? Then create a post-event discussion thread. Invite attendees to share their biggest takeaways inside your community. Offer a clear next step. Want them to join your membership? Attend a follow-up event? Book a call with you? Make it crystal clear how they can continue working with you and make it easy for them to say yes. All right. So we've covered the 5 biggest reasons why workshops flop and the 5-step fix-it framework to turn things around. But I don't just want to give you theory. I want to show you how this actually plays out in real life. Because let's be honest, I've made these mistakes too. I used to run my workshops in a way that, looking back, wasn't setting me up for maximum engagement. And when I started shifting my approach, well, game changer. But before we dive into that, we're going to take a brief break and learn a little bit more about my go-to community building tool, Circle. I'm sure you've already heard me mention a time or two how much I love Circle for building my online community. If you're a fellow podcast host or digital creator looking to elevate your online community, look no further because Circle is endgame. It revolutionizes the way you connect and engage with your audience. Circle offers an intuitive platform that brings together your content, conversations, and community all in one place. It's your one-stop shop for building a vibrant, interactive community that's uniquely yours. Whether you're a podcast host, course creator, or coach, Circle empowers you to create a space that's as dynamic and engaging as your content. Customized to your heart's content, from private spaces to integrative live streams, making your community both exclusive and inclusive. Transform your audience into a thriving community with Circle watch your engagement soar, your relationships deepen, and your brand grow. It's more than a platform. It's a community builder's dream. So, are you ready to bring your community together? Visit circle.so or the link in the show notes and start your free trial today. Welcome back. So let me walk you through how I completely revamped my own workshop strategy and how you can do the same. For a long time, my workshops followed the traditional format. 45 minutes of teaching, 15 minutes of Q&A. And sure, it worked, kind of. But over time, I started noticing something. People were zoning out halfway through. The Q&A at the end felt rushed and one-dimensional. People asked questions, but there really wasn't much conversation. Engagement was just okay, but not great. It felt like people were just waiting for the replay rather than actually participating live. And that's when I realized I was talking too much. Instead of teaching for 45 minutes straight, I made a major shift. Now my workshops are roughly 25 to 30 minutes of structured teaching, getting to the good stuff faster. More than just a Q&A, it's now a dialogue that happens after. Instead of waiting until the end for engagement, I build it throughout. I stop every 7 to 10 minutes to ask a question or get input. I encourage attendees to share their own experiences rather than just asking me questions. I create space for real-time brainstorming, discussions, and collaborations. And guess what? Engagement has skyrocketed with this new framework. More people stayed until the very end. Conversations felt richer and more natural. Attendees, well, they walked away feeling heard and involved, not just lectured at. So, if you're still running long lecture style workshops, I challenge you to flip the script. Make it a two-way conversation, not just a presentation. All right, friends, we covered a lot today. Why workshops flop, the fix it framework, and some small tweaks can make a massive difference in engagement. Plus, I shared how I personally revamped my own workshop format to focus on more interaction, real-time discussions, and making my workshops an experience, not just a lecture. Now, here's my challenge for you. Take a past workshop that didn't quite land and rewrite it using these strategies, shortening your teaching time, building an engagement, and seeing how it transforms your audience's experience. And if you never want to miss an update, make sure you're on my email list. Every Friday, I send out The Scoop, your weekly roundup of what's happening, must-know community building tips, and resources to help you grow. If you're not already subscribed, head to the show notes and sign up so you're always in the loop. And when it comes to email marketing, I only trust Flowdesk. It's what I use to run my business and keep my emails looking sleek and converting. If you're looking for a simple, powerful email platform, check out Flowdesk. I'll drop my link in the show notes so you can try it out. And don't forget, if this episode gave you some light bulb moments, share it with a friend who's hosting workshops. And if you're loving the show, a quick review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify would mean the world to me. See you next time. Happy workshop planning. Bye, friend.